Hi, my name is Jesper Ankerfeldt and I'm a film composer. Today I want to talk a little bit about workflow. A very common subject is, do I need a separate session for each cue that I'm writing, or can I write an entire project in one session in my DAW? And I've sort of taken those two approaches and fused them together. So here to the left you see a feature film in 6 reels, and on the right you see all the different cues I've written so far, and all the instruments playing underneath. And over here you see it's just like a wave. Let's go a little bit closer. You can see it's just one wave file. And up here there's spotting notes. I use several marker tracks for different things, which is really handy. And then down here you see the temp track, so to speak. It's all my music though. And the blue ones are things that are written specifically for the picture. Red is when there's going to be a recut, so basically a scene I have to wait for. And yellow is a music edit, and green will be when a track has been approved. And if we go here, you can see this is 03, which means that it's from reel 3, and this is reel 5. So I've music edited in a previous cue. It's the same two guys that are also talking about sort of the same subject early in the film, so it makes a lot of sense thematically. And what I'm looking for is, how does the theme fit? Before writing any new music, it's like, how long is my theme? How does the beginning and ending work? What do I need to add? And here I obviously wanted something to happen here in the middle of dialogue. We can listen a little bit just to give a feeling. Oh, need some dialogue.
That way. Getting involved has consequences. Consequences that sometimes you just can't see coming.
Yeah, but we are involved, man. We're with them.
I turned the music up a bit, so
It's like this.
you can hear it. But I mean,
even if you see
that accent is too strong. Like, there's different things. Let's just listen to the ending real quickly.
Sort it out later on.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
On this scale? No. I mean, I've seen some terrible things, but nothing like this. Got some friends that have.
How are they doing?
So I like that change of tone and how it ends on a sort of darker note. I might even emphasize that further. So the ending works really well for me, and something I'll probably steal. So now I'll use this macro that will basically mark out this area and do a global copy, which means that it's copying everything in that area. Then I go to the ending of the project. You can see I'm here on the ending. And I will paste in this new cue that I'm gonna write. Then now I'll find the previous or the cue that I music temped from. It's here. Those guys ain't Muslims. And if I'll do like this, you can see I'll just show only tracks with data. It's a fairly simple cue, some strings and some other instruments. Then I use the same macro. I mark on both sides and I copy it. I go again to the ending of the project. Here's what I pasted before. And before I paste it in, I'll just delete any obsolete tempo changes and meters there. And then I'll paste in this here. Then I have that cue with the same information. And now I can simply drag this new cue in. If I place it here, so I link up the beginning, I'll get the same beginning, and if I link it here, I'll get the same ending. I can now mute the temp track, and basically I have the same thing.
You gotta learn fast. Sort it out later on.
You can hear that.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
It's a little bit softer because it's supposed to be a very soft cue. So now I just need to write the cue backwards, like fill in and get the same shape and hit the different marks that I want to hit. The smart thing here is that I can change the tempos and I can do everything I want because there's actually nothing here after. So it's basically like having a new session. Of course, if I change volumes and stuff on specific tracks, those changes will affect all the previous cues unless it's automation. I also see it as I'm evolving the sound of the score, so basically changes that I'll do most likely will positively affect previous cues, and if I want a previous cue exactly as it is, I had saved a session for that cue anyway, so I can always go back and find the exact sounding version of a cue. But I will finish this cue and then I'll get back to you. So I've just finished the cue, and I've added a cycle marker that fits the time code of the beginning of the cue, and then I've exported with the cycle marker so it gets the specific name, and it's the name of the session and the cycle marker. So basically I can always find this specific export if I open up the session with this name and find the cycle marker here. Then I have a script that will open up the bounce folder of the open session that I'm in. I get it here, and then I can have another script that will import to that specific time code. So let's just see what happens. It's doing a bit back and forth, and then it imports it or add it to the same time code. I can delete my temp music edit, and now I have one less track to write. So basically this is a master session. This is a single cue session. I could clean up here. If I go over here, I could basically say I'm selecting this part, and then I can paste it in wherever I want in terms of the other cues that I've written, which is especially helpful if you're doing different versions that you want next to each other. And because this global copy will copy all the tempo information and I'm doing it on bass, it will not move other things around. So basically, if I go in here, this will be exactly how I wrote it, exactly on the grid how I wanted it. As the last thing, I'll just play you the cue that I wrote.
Involved. Okay, these people are stuck in this. It's perpetual. We're outsiders. We need to keep it that way.
I'll turn it up a bit.
Getting involved has consequences. Consequences that sometimes you just can't see coming.
Yeah, but we are involved, man. We're with them.
It's like this, man. Even if you see someone dying, you just observe. That's it. You get it?
Yeah, but we went back to that village to get water for them. Isn't that getting involved?
No, it's not getting involved. We went back down to the village because our point man went back down to the village. Now, he's the only one with a gun. He's the only one that knows how to get out. And until that happens, we have to stay by his side.
So you just would have let those people die of thirst?
Yes.
And I don't think I can do that.
Well, you need to recognize the situation you are in right now. You understand that? Thousands of people are gonna die and there ain't shit you can do about it. This ain't no place for your bullshit sentimentality.
It's not bullshit.
I guess not.
Look, maybe I just can't stay detached like you can.
Well, you gotta learn, man. You gotta learn fast. Sort it out later on.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
On this scale, I've seen some terrible things, but nothing like this. Got some friends that have.
How are they doing?